All right, good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me? Morning. Okay.
Morning.
All right, awesome. Good morning, everyone. So welcome again to Tuesday learning session. And our facilitator for this morning is Timmy Gunners. Right. Timmy, this one that your background is cropping off your hair, but it's fine. Please, Timmy, take it away.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Today I am, of course, your humble host, and I'll be taking us through the tiny bitty what I know about influencer marketing. I mean, the evolution of influencer marketing and the connection to content marketing. So we're going to be starting from scratch. Who is an influencer? Of course, just giving the dictionary explanation of what an influencer is. An influencer is typically an individual who has established a significant following and an authority within a particular niche or industry. An influencer simply possesses the power to, sway opinions, behavior, and sometimes, most times, purchasing decisions of their audience. And of course, this is from the relationship they've built over time with their audience. They are simply real life consumers, actually, who just have in-depth knowledge about certain areas. So what are the kind of or types of influencers we have? We typically have we have the mega influencers, we have the macro influencers, and we have the micro and nano influencers. Micro and nano influencers typically go hand in hand, but because they've tried to separate them because of their followership. For mega or celebrity influencers, like we would call, they are typically the first set of influencers and the only kind of influencers that were recognized before, and they have at least 1 million followers, and they are able to command, bigger amounts from brands. And then for macro influencers, they're just a sort of a step down from mega influencers, and some of them are famous, but they've not yet reached their highest level of fame and some level of recognition, while some have already established themselves as experts in their specific niche. For micro influencers, they don't have celebrity status yet, but they are kind of powerful. They are a group of creators that are already trusted by their followers, and they typically have between 10 to 100K followers. And for nano influencers, the up and coming, they are people with relatively smaller followings, and they have a small niche with very close connection with their audience, and typically they have between 1K to 10K followers. Personally, I would actually agree that micro and nano influencers, they have remarkable impact on their audience because they already specialize in a specific niche and they have smaller audience, and most of the contents that they churn out are more real. That's why you see a lot of UGC creators coming up. You see a lot of Get Ready With Me, because they want people to sort of like follow them into what they do in their lives, and also be regarded as the influencer in quotes. So I'd like to throw this to the house. So amongst everyone, who do you think would make a good influencer? Anybody in the house that wants to help us with that question? Anybody voluntarily? who do you think amongst the team would make a good influencer, and what brand do you think the person will make a good fit on? Okay.
I think Daryl will make a good influencer.
Larry, okay, please help us.
Hi, Timileyin. I mean, when you said so, two people came to mind, Afolabi and Just Ayo.
What brand?
I may not be able to say what brand they would influence for. Is that the question?
Yeah, what brand do you think they are best fit for? Yeah.
Okay. That's so okay. Just Ayo, maybe a food brand. I don't know, something that just and I don't even mean this because of any inside joke or anything, but something again, no, I don't mean to make comparisons, but maybe something like what Enioluwa does, right? Something like that. I'll take that for Just time. For Afolabi, nothing is coming to mind yet. But the reason I mentioned Afolabi is just because he has a very outgoing character. It's kind of person that will want to do get ready with me to the gym kind of stuff. And then so those are the two people that come to mind in our organization.
Okay, thank you for that. I actually would have said Just Ayo because, of course, for a food brand, because it has passion for food, and I mean, whatever content is going to be creating is going to be from passion. You stole Just Ayo from my mouth. Who else wants to give us more people? Let me see. Daniel.
I was just about to on my hands. Hi.
Good morning.
Influencer, Daddy Mike, travel blogger.
Okay. Thank you very much. Larry, your hands are still up. Do you want to add? Okay.
My apologies, sir. That was on air.
No problem. Okay, so let's get right into it. So let's address the elephant in the room, what we are here for. So I'll start by what content marketing is. I mean, content marketing is simply the creation and distribution of valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and engage your target audience. And some of these contents includes, podcasts, social media posts, videos, ebooks, webinars, and so on. I mean, content marketing, it's a more subtle and informative approach to promote a brand or their product or their services. It in their faces, come and buy. And for influencer marketing, of course, we've already established who an influencer is at the beginning. Influencer marketing simply just involves collaborating with people who already have an established and large following or audience. And then merging the two together, content marketing and content and influencer marketing is basically, influencer marketing is a key part of content marketing. I mean, you are building and gaining credibility through these contents that are shared and created by the influencers. You are collaborating, a brand is collaborating with the influencers to show how their products and services would fit into the lives of everyday people, of course, they are consumers, and over time build trust with these consumers. So, yeah. Shift. So we'll talk about how influencer marketing actually started as far back as 1950s. I mean, the biggest influence came from prominent and well-reputed people, like only the big and luxurious brand could afford. I mean, brands in Nigeria have always engaged actors, musicians, on-air personalities, reality TV stars, to push their products and services, and they were mainly used on the traditional advertising, radio billboards, TV, and also as brand ambassadors collecting big money. I would like to say sometimes ridiculous amount of money for a very short appearance or with little content creation. But nowadays, the power of social media has decentralized the stardom. I mean, brands are collaborating with influencers in niche spaces. And of course, this is due to the fact that people are more interested in connecting with their influencers. I mean, for these big stars, you would most likely not see them really engaging with you in the comment section or even trying to go in deep about themselves or their day-to-day lifestyle. And of course, the influencer marketing industry has really grown rapidly, like in recent years, especially in the country. And I would say one of the shifts in the perception towards influencers happened due to COVID. I mean, many influencers who have now come into picture. That was when they, started showing themselves, and then consumers are becoming more interested, like I said, in personalized content that caters to their own preferences and their interests, and they can see in between if this is an influencer, this one is definitely influencing for a brand, especially when the influencer is not doing it well. And now creators are even being paid on these social platforms. They are being supported by the owners of these platforms. Run ads to showcase their ads in their comment sections, and of course within their community. Slides again. So turning it back to the house, have you ever purchased a product or service simply because an influencer you admired used or endorsed the product or service? Anybody in the house? Okay. Okay, Ayatunde, please go on.
Yeah, I bought food. I bought food. I was influenced to buy food at Chinese Mega Plaza.
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that.
Okay, she said she was influenced to buy food at Chinese Mega Plaza.
Chinese food at Mega Plaza.
Influenced by who?
By who?
I think what's his name? He's a dark dude that wears glasses and has a very deep voice. And he
Sorry, again? Opemi Famaki, sorry. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. The food review.
That was Velma, by the way. So yeah.
Okay. Any other? Afolabi. Afolabi, help us. The question on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever purchased the product or service because I'm nah.
Are you for real?
Most of them, we are in this business together. Most of them, they don't use it. For example, now, to our savage, me and you know that their page is not using Techno mobile phone. So how would I go and buy Techno mobile phone because to our savage is no. Most of all those people, we are just paying them.
Savage, an influencer, like, does she influence you?
Me?
It's somebody that can influence you. Would I have to start from there? If she's not somebody that will influence you, I don't know if there's any product that she would want to influence.
Cristiano Ronaldo influenced me, yes.
So what have you got in view to Cristiano?
No.
What have you done? Or what have you used? What services have you used?
Binance.
Oh wow, nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Binance.
Interesting. Okay, who wants to go next? Tunde.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually Jemima. I think
Hi,
that's what
Jemima.
this soap that I think was advertising, that series soap. No, there's one soap, you don't know, like it was very
this series.
perfumed. That series, yeah. I I used it and my whole skin just broke out.
Okay, that was a bad experience. Anybody has similar experience or better experience? I really would like Tolani, please go on.
Yeah, hi. So for me, it's usually with tech products. So, and I think it matters that the influencer is authentic and relevant, right? Which is why maybe imagine if Tiwa Savage is recommending a device or phone to me, obviously I'm not going to pay attention to that. But even KPHD, says this is the phone of the year. Like I know how much just that video that he does at the end of the year sort of drives sales for some of these brands, right? So for me, for instance, if he or Mr. Who's the Boss do not recommend a device, it's nothing that's going to make me touch it. But yeah, so.
Thank you very much for that. Ayatunde, I think somebody in the office.
Okay, hi, Timileyin. Question. Does the person need to have a digital platform for him to be him or her to be an influencer?
Yes, because we are in the digital world. I mean, you have to have a level of fun.
You started.
Eh?
But so there's somebody I know, most of us in the office know the person. Boyega. At some point, Boyega was the biggest influence on Google Pixel phones that a lot of people started buying Google Pixel phones because of Boyega, and he would market Pixel for you like crazy. Until date, I find it hard to buy any other phone except a Google Pixel phone.
Does Boyega have a YouTube page?
No,
doesn't have anything. So this is word of mouth going from door to door to influence.
It's not going from door to door. It's all right. Thank you.
But yeah, I think that's a very important question. I did not think it from that angle. Can one be an influencer without having social following and large gathering? My answer would have been no. That's why I said is a door-to-door influencer. I don't know if anybody wants to correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So anybody else? One more person before we move on. Let me just go and scout the room. Okay.
Hi, I was just saying that you can influence in your community now without social media. I just try to work with your monetizing or just amplifying your influencing powers. But yeah, anybody you can influence in your community, you can within your church, within your area without being
online
on social, without being online. And that automatically starts the whole word of mouth process, as you just mentioned.
Yeah. Just Ayo, please go on.
Yeah, hi Timmy. So I want to kind of speak on two things because first of all, yes, I have been influenced a bit by I left it in the comment section, but I guess you didn't see that. I downloaded Cheaper Cash app. And because I heard of it, but I was skeptical. I didn't want to use it. I saw the whole Burna Boy thing, bank on it. That thing never worked for me. The only reason I downloaded it to use was because I follow Kagan Tech and I follow Fisayo and I follow Eric Okafor. So I had seen Fisayo talk about it and recommend, and I had seen Kagan Tech also recommend. That was the only reason I was like, okay, yes, I can download this app and use. And I have been using it for a while, although I've stopped share, but the app is still on my phone. So that is one thing. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk on was, is my stance on if you have to be online, like digitally, before you can be considered an influencer. I think it's a fine line. I don't know if you noticed Sophia's comments. It's kind of like referring, but at the same time it's influencing because they are swaying someone's emotion and someone's choice to get something. And it has happened to me. At least I'll give you 2 occasions. And please, you should not laugh at me because it is about food. So the first occasion is, so one of my neighbor's friends had taken my neighbor to one joint where there's this barbecue fish and chips and stuff that I never knew about. It's around Excellence Hotel, for those of you that know Ogba. So my neighbor had told my other neighbors, and they had also gone, and they came back to testify. I mean, I was still doubting. So they're like, you know what, I should follow them one day. So I went to them, and I swear down, this is like the best fish and chips I've ever had. So me too, I started telling everybody I can tell around the area. And I've had someone go there and try it, and the person too is like, oh, more, this makes sense. So I don't know if you call that influencing, because all of this started from somebody's friend to somebody to somebody to somebody. So I don't know if it counts as influencing. The other one too that happened was one Calabar joints like that they have fisherman soup and stuff. But yeah, it's the same thing. Someone told me, someone told me, someone told me. So, yeah.
Yes, I get you. I hear you when you say it's a fine line. I mean, word of mouth is part of influencer marketing. I mean, why are you relying on an influencer to communicate your products and your services? I saw one comment that talked about evangelism and evangelists. I think yes, they are also influencers, but will I say they are offline influencers? Because even brands, even influencers that we work with them offline, and that's because they already have the people that they follow online follow them offline. So because we're in the digital age and it's constantly evolving, every influencer needs to have some form of visibility online, no matter how small. Even if it's 1K, you're still regarded as an influencer. I mean, somebody can have 500 followers and have like the engagement is like 100%. Is super. I mean, the person is also an influencer. We're not ruling them out. I hope that answers the question a bit to an extent. Okay, thank you everybody for participating. So we will be moving to benefits of influencer marketing in content marketing. Of course, people look up to these influencers to guide them with their decision making, and some of the benefits, I mean, that influencer marketing gives brand is reach and getting better exposure. And they already have a large following and engaged users on the social platforms. Partnering with them just enables brands to reach new potential audience, like expand their social reach, gain followers, increase their visibility, and of course, which can lead to increased social engagement or even website traffic, depending on what their call to action should be. And then it also increases credibility and trust. Like we said, I mean, the influencers are already seen as being authentic. They have some level of trusted voice. And when they promote a brand, and it gives more credibility and trust to whatever message that is being passed across through the content, making it look more real to the followers, for them to engage and also believe in the product or the services offered. And then more content creations. I mean, influencers will give give better, they'll make your content bank bigger. They are they're already known experts at creating this content, engaging content. They can create authentic and relatable content that resonates with the audience. And brands, of course, can benefit from their creativity, to promote their products or their services, of course, in an organic and genuine way, because these consumers, they can almost see in between, they can read it between the lines. And of course, it increases engagements. They can get their audience to engage, give likes, comments, share the brand content. UGC shows like a real experiences, and it acts as a social proof to some extent. These influencers can actually inspire their followers to create UGC content around the brand and product. And of course, this encourages purchases, especially when they would need to use products to create this content, and then it can be cost effective. I mean, compared to the traditional advertising or celebrity endorsements, I mean, influencer marketing can be cost effective. And I mean, you can work with micro influencers, even if you can't afford the mega or the but their engagements are quite great. They really engage the audience because, I mean, they're just a small fraction, and then they don't just touch every kind of content. They have their particular niche. It can also increase sales, which consumers probably because consumers are they want a more humanized content. They don't want to be able to read that this is an influencer campaign or an influencer marketer, or the influencer is forcefully promoting the product. An example that we've given in Phoenix, I mean, using Davido, Techno as well, using Captain America and all of that. They want a humanized content, so a recommendation from their trusted influencer can help increase sales and also build up on a pre-existing relationship. Moving to challenges of influencer marketing in content marketing. Okay, I think I can see hands up. Richard, please go on.
Yeah, thank you, Timmy. Thank you very much. Please, I just want to ask. You see this, we'll be using the word inspire, influence, and all that. I just want to ask, can these influencers actually influence their followers, or let me say influence those that love them without lying?
Well, we have influencers that lie. I mean, there's already an example of the series soap. I mean, Adesuwa had already painted the soap as the beauty soap that, I mean, you most likely not break out. I mean, you have the clearest skin, and then somebody used it, and then the person broke out from the soap. Of course, I know Adesuwa doesn't use that soap. Let's not lie. She doesn't use it. So most of, I would say in the country, most of our influencer marketing is built on stardom of the influencer, not necessarily because the influencer fits into that niche. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Hi, Richard.
Yeah, I get you. Thank you very much. But they are also, that means they're living a life.
I won't lie. There are some influencers that are living the lie, and there are influencers that are actually influencing.
Yeah, I agree. It's fine.
You don't sound convinced, but you don't sound convinced, and I want you to be convinced. So, can you give examples or cite examples that that is not making you sound convinced? So let's start from there.
No, it's all this, for example, all this skincare rishi that we see now. You see, I know you don't use this soap. You are lying to my face. I know they paid you to do this thing, but it's fine.
So that's why I said consumers are demanding, like there's an increase of demand of authentic content of, I know when you are influencing, people can read through the line. So like brands will get there, but brands need to like stand on their toes, but let's leave that for our later discussion. Dare, please go on.
Hi everyone, good morning. So Richard, it was when you asked the question that I was kind of motivated to talk. But I would say you mentioned skincare and soap, just like what I think someone from the office, open office mentioned that because of this why they use a particular soap and their skin broke out. But that could be as a result of your skin not being the soap rather not working well with your skin, because I know that when you are using a particular kind of soap, you have to see whether it's going to work with your skin, whether you have an oily skin, dry skin, or just a normal skin, that actually plays a role in how well that particular product works. And everybody's skin is sensitive to an extent. So, I mean, you need to actually do some more in-depth research on a particular product like skincare or food if you actually want to make use of them. And in the aspect of influencers not being through and some being through, is like rather not being what's the word now? But you get where I'm coming from, Sha. There are plenty of them online, to be honest. Most of them just keep on doing things to have like a large following so that they can just get brands to partner with them. And most of them are actually, you could actually see somebody with 5K followers and they can influence those 4,000, at least 4,000 people on their 80% of their followers to actually do something. But then brands will not notice them because of their little following, and they will classify them into what they will call nano, like Timmy has said earlier. But in all sense, they're actually macro influencers because they can influence a large scale of people, right? And it's just very few people we have online on the digital space that are actually very true to their word, just like in the aspect of Fisayo and those tech guys that they review products. Those are products that you can actually use, yeah. And when it comes to food, this Okoyemi guy has kind of established himself as a truth sayer. All right. Like the other day, when I actually started, I knew him before, but when I actually when I tipped my hat to him was when he reviewed the Jazzy Burger that every influencer in Nigeria is eating Jazzy Burger and they're saying, oh my God, this is manna from heaven, literally. And the guy ate it and was like, is this what people are shouting about? Like, he literally condemned this thing. Like, and that is him just being true to the audience. Like, so, yo, guys, if you're looking for a better way to spend 12K on burger, please, you can listen to just go to a roadside burger maker and buy 6 burgers worth of, 2K each burger, and you enjoy yourself. You get. So it's just very few people that are very true. And, the rest of them are just holding on to the fact that they have a large following and they're looking for brands to come and partner with them. And, thank you very much.
I think you made a very valid point, and I would agree to some extent. So speaking on the skincare, I mean, the ad didn't say a part of the bar soap is for XYZ skin. I mean, the likes of CeraVe, the likes of Dr. Teal, they specify what kind of skin, I mean, what kind of they try to specify each product for each skin. So for what's her name? Wellington's wife, I mean, it was one product for everybody. And of course, because she's an influencer, people look up to her, and people would believe whatever it is she says, and they would want to use the product. And at the end of the day, get a bad or a good review. I'm sure not everybody got a bad review from the product, but me personally, I know she doesn't use that product. Ayatunde. Actually,
Hi.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is my question. Earlier, you mentioned about the fact that these influencers know how to curate the right content that engages their followers or the consumers they are targeting and all. And the question that just popped up in my head was the fact that most of these influencers, e.g. Mr. Macaroni, his content around women, and most of them, especially the comedic ones. So are you trying to say that the consumers Nigeria have today are people who are more interested in women and the things like that, that they curate? That's my question.
So yeah, I would say yes, because I mean, he has an audience that watches the video, they share, they like, they comment. So he already has his own particular audience that he speaks to, that he can command whatever it is he wants them to do. So yes, I would say yes, even if it doesn't make sense. But there are some Nigerians, I mean, that are interested in content like that. You can't change it. You can't, I don't think there's anything you can do about it at the moment. We can only complain and try to talk about things like this that are not good. But he has his audience that he is speaking to and that listens to him. Yeah. Derek.
Yeah, hi. So in the case of Mr. Macaroni, he has sort of established a style of content where the average Nigerian enjoys, and he has gathered followings from there. So, and if you see the way he disseminates his messages for his brands, he can actually start his message. You know, some content creators and influencers, when the video starts, they start talking about the product. No, he works his way into his stories and tries to link the products that he's trying to sell with the story, which you would find yourself watching till that time and you won't finish the video. So he has successfully established a style of content where the audience are very much used to, and you would always stay tuned, regardless of what you're probably seeing on your screen. What you're seeing on your screen at this point is probably irrelevant for Mr. Macaroni. It's now the story that is relevant. In fact, it's the story that is relevant and how it ends, because there's this style, his daughter and looking for marriage and bringing people on board, bringing brands. So the fact that an influencer should know how to establish a style of storytelling, plays a key role in how you are able to deliver a message. Maybe majority of influencers and content creators, they use physical appearance to tell their story, in the aspect of pardon my French, the appearance of a lady. You get, so that they keep people watching. But Mr. Macaroni has looked for a way to neutralize those facts, even if, yes, his character is more of a married man that likes those things. But yeah, he will still tell the story, and you will get the story, and you would move on with your life. You will not dwell on the fact that he's showing you all those things.
I think Lai too is an excellent content creator. I mean, I watched the ad he did for 1X and for Old School. You almost won't know until like the end. Like if it fits the ad into local nuances, like everyday lifestyle and all. Yeah, I think there are influencers that are actually very, very great at creating content that involves ad, and not just content that they actually just churn out for engagement's sake and to grow their audience. But I mean, ads that they run for brands. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So we'll move on to challenges of influencer marketing in content marketing. I mean, while influencer marketing offers some significant benefits, which we've discussed, it also comes with its fair share of challenges. And the first one is finding and choosing the right influencer, which is what we've all talked about now. Like this is the first and the most important thing, and it can be very tasking. I mean, you don't want to go and use the wrong influencer for a different content or a different niche where they don't even play at all. I mean, you need to research, you need to identify the influencer that is relevant, that has some form of engagement, they have real audience, which is one of the problems we're battling now. A lot of influencers buying followers, bots and all of that. And also influencers that actually match the brand personalities and values. Somebody mentioned in the comment section about Jenny's Glow. I mean, those ones, they are not after their personality or their values. They're just after collecting people's money. That's why they can be using influencers, lavishing money on influencers to sell products that are killing people, and they're causing damages to people's skin. And of course, most importantly, an influencer. You need an influencer that can pass your message effectively. And then negotiating with the influencers, trying to establish a mutually beneficial relationship and also transparent. Finding the right influencer, to be honest, can be very, very tasking, because of course it's like the most important. If you miss getting the right influencer, I do not think that you would be able to pass message organically or the way the brand would have wanted to. Measuring ROI and its effectiveness too can pose a challenge. I mean, without a robust tracking or measurement tool, it can be challenging to actually determine whether the campaign achieved its objectives, or the influencer campaign achieved its objectives. You would want to analyze other metrics. We depend on their engagement, their insights, number of likes, videos, comments, and the like. And even when you check some of these influencers, when you check their comments, they are irrelevant comments. Somebody's just putting fire, love emoji, and all of that. And then to also be able to judge, get your ROI. So for instance, if you are using an influencer to sell an ebook, of course, giving the influencer a particular code. You can use that code to track conversions or sales attribution on the website, and to also gauge the campaign effectively. Then the next one is content control. So allowing too much freedom could result in a content that doesn't align with the brand. Of course, yes, we want to give these influencers free will to create content according to how they can, or according to their relevance. But being too restrictive may also hinder the authenticity and creativity of the influencers. It is very crucial to try to find a balance. So best practice would be letting the influencer know what your objectives are, what you plan or what you aim to achieve with the particular content. And of course, it's best to always start with the script. So the influencer is not going to shoot a content, pardon me, and then they are coming back. There's a lot of back and forth. I've experienced this quite a great time, and it's very, very irritating and annoying. Then next is influencers controversies. Managing risk and their reputation can be difficult. Influencers, they are already an independent entities, and some of their actions may not always be under the brand control. So if an influencer, for instance, engages in a controversial behavior or becomes involved in a public scandal, it could negatively impact the brand's reputation. I'll give an instance where I was working before at Vitafoam. They initially signed Funke Akindele, but when they heard about the whole saga with our ex-husband and all of that, immediately they didn't even care about the money they've already paid. They withdrew the partnership and just left the money. They were not even interested in collecting the money back, or they had a reputation to save at that moment. So they just withdrew, they removed themselves immediately. There was no press comment, there was nothing. They just called her immediately, the lawyer sent her termination letter, and that was it. That was the end. Babatunde, please go ahead.
Sorry. Hi, Timmy. Based on what you just said, I'm sorry, might be a little bit diverted into something else entirely. Based on withdrawing your ambassadorship from celebrity based on some little scandal or whatever, I'm not trying to defend them. Do you think it's normal, it's good for a brand to withdraw their support for someone like Funke Akindele? Likewise, Tiwa Savage with Twisco too. I don't know. I know it might not go for brand, but what about you being loyal to your ambassador, to people that you sign? There's a purpose why you sign them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very valid. Very, very valid. But to be honest, it's not the brand's business. I'm paying you to help me talk about my product and service, more like, of course, influence my product and service to your audience. If there is already a controversy, I need to shield myself. The audience will not say, oh, the brand is just partnering with her. They would not want to hear, oh, this is about the influencer and all of that. Imagine when, I think there was I can't remember the financial brand that came on with this Ponzi. It was more like a Ponzi scheme. They used Davido and I can't remember the other micro influencers. And when the brand ran away with their money, with their dubious acts, everybody was calling the influencer, look at the brand you influenced, XYZ. So nobody is going to blame the company that has run away or the company that would run away with their product. Is the influencer they would. Likewise, if the influencer has done something that is bad, they would hold the company. They will not just stop at the influencer. The company is trying to shield. Thank you very much, Afolabi Rakstali. The company is trying to shield themselves from whatever problem it could be that the influencer was actually innocent, but first they would want to shield their own investment. They also have other investors that they have to report back to, and of course, because it's a PLC, a public company, so there are a lot of factors that are considered when it comes to things like that. Yeah. So moving on to the fifth one, rising influencer costs. This one is like is becoming too common. I mean, the demand for the industry is growing. Influencers are using the avenue to charge more, even when they can't deliver what they are charging on. Some influencers will just call costs for you, and then you'll be wondering, they should just come and carry gun and like, what are you charging for? What am I expecting from you? Some just overcharge without the fear of God. I mean, opting for a low cost influencers like the micro and the nano influencers looks like the way forward. I mean, you see brands like Darling, brands like Oraimo, BB. I think Darling is using a lot of micro and nano influencer way, a lot of them, and I see that. For me, I believe that it's successful. I mean, they've influenced me at some point on hairstyle and the color attachments to use. Afolabi, please go on.
All right, Timmy, thank you very, very much for this beautiful session. So yeah, so I wanted to chime in regarding this rising influencer cost here. So, well, just like Bukola said, economy is all about demand and supply. If they are not paying, they won't be charging much. Yeah. So that boils down to the way they operate. I can remember as the last year when we used Neukleos for Xiaomi project here. I think the charges then, what he charged then was not up to 2 million naira. So prior to that period, his management reached out to us that Neukleos is having a discussion with Crocs. So that they are planning on making him the ambassador. It was not like, so by the time he eventually got the ambassador deal, his price would go up. And I asked myself, why? He said it's because he's no longer normal influencer, he's not an ambassador of Crocs, so his price has to go up. Then I asked him, okay, if that is the case, is it changing anything regarding the so-called influencer? Because tomorrow I still ask myself, I'm not trying to be biased or anything like that. What is this talent? I still ask myself that thing, that what is this talent? It doesn't sing, it doesn't do this, just come on here to eat and all that and talk and apply lip gloss. Yes. So I still ask myself. So I don't want to ask then, because the management sometimes reach out to us that, oh, is there any project on ground? And then I said, oh, I have Union Bank, but I can't recommend him. I can't even do that mistake and recommend any lure for Union Bank. It's not possible. The other one again that I personally have worked with was Maybelline products. That's all this lip Maybelline Dark and Lovely. So what they do then is they partner with June. They partner with June this thing that they've paid, obviously. So for you to be able to buy something with the code, so as long as you are clicking on their page to go to Jumia page, is actually registering that, okay, this particular visitor is coming from Alex. This particular one is actually coming from Messi. So that will actually enable them to know, okay, who are we going to drop and who are we going with? So that's another way. But in terms of search, that can only be beneficial to brands like that. But I don't think the likes of Infinix paying Davido, which obviously Davido is not using it to know that. But the influence of him being like, oh, it's Davido, everybody likes Davido, and definitely you have people that will look up to him. I can remember we were working on Xiaomi projects. All the Xiaomi staff are using iPhone. I asked them, I'm sorry, we are here to launch a new product, and you are all using iPhone. What is that? What message is that? They just look at me like this and just smile. It's like, but I'm sorry, I don't use the word crazy.
Okay, so what are influencer-driven content marketing, successful influencer-driven content marketing campaigns? You really, well, I would say I can measure success with this Saka I Don't Pot because it was a big hit. I mean, it was grounded in real life scenarios, very relatable. I would not even lie. It made me a proud user of MTN as at that time. And seeing people that were putting to MTN were just like, if you were just catching the wave. And then the 080 Ninja for Life too, I mean, was for me I think it was a hit when it you don't have time. Maybe we can drop it in the driven content marketing you like, or that spoke to you. So moving on to the future trends in influencer marketing and continuous shift in consumer preferences and brands need to meet up with the intelligence of the consumer. The first thing is, like with this, the rise of pro and nano influencers. I mean, consumers have become more savvy about influencer marketing, and brands are also looking to create content that feels organic and authentic to reach this audience. We are gradually seeing a shift away from the mega influencers with millions of followers to these micro and nano influencers with smaller
workspace. I'm sure Tim will be happy to answer the questions. And I just like to say, in case anybody wants to become an influencer, please reach out to me. I'll be your manager and we can make money together. Thank you. Awesome. See, I already have candidates. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.